What it mean to be the best? Riding foes, feeling unimpressed. Make me reminisce, throwing bows, bend the corner, set my mind up on the goal. All I know is stay down, bad, I'm the goal. Okay, feel like the best, the great. Now there ain't no debate. Yeah. Okay, feel like the best, the great. Now there ain't no debate. Yeah. I ain't gotta say much. Know the boy got a touch. Another win for the rush. Another win for the rush. See me once and got a crush. See you twice and that's enough. Get the ring sized up.
Hello, everybody. That kind
Good
of
afternoon, everybody.
We are here for Tell the Truth episode 91. Obviously, the Chiefs do not open their season with a win, and in fact, lose in a bit of embarrassing fashion, even though the score would suggest otherwise. 27-21 to the Los Angeles Chargers with the Justin Herbert game. That he's probably the best game that he's ever played as far as a big game moment, which is sad to say as far as we going qualifying, but still. Obviously took apart the defense. Pass rush didn't have anything for an offensive line that was obviously down Rashawn Slater. Secondary had a multitude of miscommunications. The linebacker room did not do much better. The offense unfortunately suffered a difficult injury to start out with Xavier Worthy. And we'll have an update on him to talk about here. Actually, I mean, we can get into it in a little bit, but they found their stride due to what Mahomes was able to do. But obviously, there were other issues to talk about. But CJ, DG, how you guys feeling, man?
I'll let CJ talk.
Boy, oh boy. That's not the way you want to start a season, fellas. A lot of things we could have did better. Defense definitely dropped the ball a lot for me. No pun intended. Offensively, we did some good things. Guess I'll start with the positives. Overall, Kingsley Josh played well. Didn't really have too many frustrations with them. That was probably my biggest worry coming into the game, fellas, honestly. I was worried about them the most. So overall, they played well for me. Definitely most mad about the defense. It felt like they just didn't practice at all or didn't respect their opponent overall. A lot of miscommunication, a lot of bad mistakes. Effort was questioned at times as well. So offensively, I'm more optimistic. Defensively, we got a lot of work to do. So not sad or pissed off, but it's early in the season. I don't want to be an overreactor, but just being a guy that's been in those locker rooms before, this is kind of like a gut check moment, even though like DMac said it's only week 1, so it's kind of hard to say those things. But nobody wants to go 0-2. So gotta go out there and look yourself in the mirror. You gotta go out there and man up and make your mistakes and admit you're wrong and move on. And be better.
Yeah, that was tough to say the least. Quick update: Xavier Worthy. Obviously, people did see him get friendly fired by Travis Kelce, who got bridge pressed by Derwin James off the line of scrimmage.
Bridge press is crazy.
That's what he did. I mean, he got jammed. He wasn't allowed to get off the line of scrimmage. And it was tough. Xavier Worthy got caught, got hit, and unfortunately separated his shoulder. Or dislocated his shoulder, I'll say more specifically. They did reduce it, which for those that do not know was returning the shoulder inside of its socket on the sideline. Took x-rays, they ruled out a fracture, eventually got him back to Kansas City after what I'm sure was a long and miserable flight. And did his MRI. There's no definitive timetable as of today. Andy Reid came out and said he was day-to-day. We've been there with Eric Berry before. It appears that he has avoided major surgery as of now, but of course there are question marks to come as far as when he will be back. It is a situation where he's going to rehab it, and hopefully it strengthens up so that he can play. He can play with a brace and obviously have the pain management aspect of it, but there does come with a re-injury risk. And according to Nate Taylor, on only Weird Games earlier today, did say that Xavier Worthy wants to play tomorrow or on Sunday versus the Eagles, but the training staff is going to hold him back from doing so, and may do it for a few weeks at this time, just to make sure that they protect him from himself. So take that for what it is. We're going to talk about missing Xavier Worthy in the offensive context of that later on too. I obviously have been frustrated and was frustrated throughout the entirety of the game. And was rage tweeting through the night of Friday and really throughout the entirety of the weekend. And I'm still frustrated, to be honest with you guys. And watching the film has not changed that one bit, to be perfectly honest. So, all that being said, somebody's actually more frustrated than I am. DG has some things to get off his chest. I got my
DMac.
things off my chest during the post game, so I'm going to give DG the floor and allow him to explain what he needs to talk about.
Yeah, so I was already frustrated after the game, but you kind of have that optimism of, oh, it'll get fixed, da da da. Then I watched the film today. It wasn't pretty, especially from a defensive aspect. The offense, like CJ said, I think it'll be what it is. Obviously, you can't have too lofty expectations when you lose both your number one receiver and now your number two receiver. So I expect them to try to at least try to figure something out on that end. I wasn't really happy about how many times they actually ran the ball in that game to give Pacheco and Kareem Hunt 5 carries apiece. I think is doing them a massive disservice, especially when you lose Xavier Worthy early in the game. I think that would be a call for you to lean more on your run game, try to kind of control the clock, take your shots when you can, and try to get out of Brazil with a dub as best as you can. Defensively, I'm concerned, massively concerned at this point. And I'm concerned because I don't know if Steve Spagnuolo is going to adapt and change. And I think for the last couple of years that he's been here, yes, it's worked and it's gotten us through or whatever. And it's been a massive difference from when you had Bob Sutton here. But I'm starting to get those same kind of vibes that when Bob Sutton was here of how things kind of went downhill after a while. The lack of communication, especially from the back end of the secondary, I really feel like at this point that secondary is missing leadership, especially a vocal leader. And it's for many people who talked about how bad Justin Reed was, you're gonna miss him, especially with the way that he can get guys lined up, how he communicates, how he gets guys to react and have them in the right place. I think I understand when Tyron left, it was more of a sense of age comes into a factor, and maybe this guy is getting to a point where we can't pay him, a contract that is massive over the age of 30. And I feel like each of them did that same kind of decision this time around with Justin Reed as well. But maybe that was the wrong decision because that secondary looked lost out there. They didn't look like they knew what they're doing. They didn't look like training camp helped them at all. Steve Spagnuolo obviously is, I think, in my opinion, too loyal to certain guys. Love Shamari Conner to death. Love Brian Cook as well too, but those guys just don't seem like they know what they're doing at this point. I think you're doing a massive disservice as well to not play Jaden Hicks in a more significant role to reduce him to being the backup to those guys. I just don't understand it, man. Like, I don't get the idea of not playing younger guys when clearly you go out. This is the reason you draft. You draft to bring in younger talent, and you refuse to play that younger talent. But on the offensive end, we can send out Josh Simmons, who's a rookie, to protect the franchise quarterback, to protect, the multi-billion-dollar Super Bowl champion in the back in the backfield for our quarterback, but we can't play our rookies on defense. It makes no sense to me. Ashton Gelati should be on the field a lot more. Jaden Hicks should be on the field a lot more. I feel like Noah Williams should probably get some more significant snaps at this point. And I'm not saying that because I think those guys will be tremendously better, but there's spots where athleticism is lacking for sure. And I'd rather see those guys out there making mistakes than to see guys out there who are veterans who've been in this system not know where they need to be. You know, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. The game plan, especially going into Brazil, I feel like that defense stepped off the bus and thought they'll make a mistake eventually and we'll capitalize on it and we'll win the game. And that never happened. And it's not the same Chargers that you're facing anymore. Jim Harbaugh is coming to town now, and I think he's definitely turned that team out of that at this point. And I don't think you'll see that team come back anymore. You know, so going into this Sunday, I'm very concerned because if Steve Spagnuolo doesn't adapt and change to how the league is moving and where it's going, the Eagles are going to do whatever they want to do. They've done it before. You know, they're not afraid of you. Though, like nobody in this league is scared of you. You know, I'm not saying that teams are coming into the game excited to play the Chiefs or anything like that, but nobody's looking at this team saying like, yeah, oh man, we really gotta bring it against the Chiefs because if we don't, that team is just that good. Like, I don't think a lot of teams are saying that right now. I think a lot of teams are looking, especially defensively, are looking like they got holes now, bro. Like, they don't look the same. You can take me off the jumbo screen.
I'm like, hey man, I was letting you cook,
no,
brother.
it's
I was
just
getting out your way.
The boy said ISO.
Watching the film today, like, bro, I was so upset because you got guys who have been in this system just not knowing where they need to be. Guys running into each other. Brian, there was a play I watched where who's the tight end for the Chargers?
Disley or Tyler Conklin?
Disley.
Yep.
No, Conklin. It was Conklin.
Conklin. With the hairiest Conklin.
They ran play action.
Wide open.
With Amari Hampton.
Butt open.
Nobody accounted for Conklin. Just Brian Cook gets tricked by the play action. Nick Bolton gets. I mean, granted, Nick, that I don't blame as much on Nick because that's his job. You know, obviously, if there's a run play, just stop the run. You know, but Brian Cook is absolutely clueless to what's going on, and Conklin is wide open just for a 33-yard gain. Now, granted, you get down the field and Shamari Connor actually makes a play on the ball and makes him fumble, and then Ladd McConkey just does what he does, cheating ass, and knocks the ball out of bounds.
Hating ass.
Yeah, but I mean, it got flagged.
I have a bone to pick with that rule, by the way. There's no way.
The same thing. That shouldn't be just a yard penalty. That needs to be a more significant penalty.
It does not. The penalty needs to be enforced. The penalty needs to be enforced from the line of scrimmage. It does not need to be enforced from where the ball is planted. Because it is not. Obviously, the penalty of, or I should say, the downside of losing the ball as far as a turnover is concerned, it's far too great compared to the downside of losing 10 yards from wherever the ball. It has to be from the line of scrimmage because it's not penalized enough from that perspective. I'm sorry, that's a nitpicky thing. DG, do you have anything else?
Yeah, it's just what I seen on film today, bro. I'm sorry if that same team shows up this Sunday, and I think it's real simple. You got one choice. This team that's coming into Arrowhead this Sunday whooped your ass in front of all the world. You know, And they're going to do it again if that same team shows up that showed up in Brazil. So it's their choice at this point. Like, you can either show up, play with some pride, and actually go out there and want a ball in front of your home crowd, or you can be that same team that stepped off the plane, stepped off the bus in Brazil, and get your ass whooped again in front of Tom Brady. Which one's it going to be?
I know I don't want to get embarrassed.
I don't play, so it don't affect me. I go to sleep happy regardless.
Well, you gonna do?
So
that's all.
Yeah, like I said, I got my frustrations out during the post game show. And I shared many of the things that DG ended up saying, and that was before I actually really was able to dig into the film heavily. But yeah, well, okay, let's go with the rundown. So next thing, the pass rush, which for me
you got
personally,
the film, it's bad, bro. I'm sorry.
If
you got all 22 and you haven't watched it yet,
a lot of mistakes, bro.
You're in for a doozy.
It's ugly.
My bad. Go ahead.
It's ugly. So to me, the biggest issue coming out of the game, and the least fixable issue is the pass rush. And again, if you've checked out Kingdom Cast social media or the YouTube channel, or the TikTok for that matter, I voiced my frustrations about people trying to place blame on Chris Jones for that last play. And again, him going outside to try and create pressure, which he has continued to do to end so many games. And I will once again reference only weird games. Seth Kaiser made me not feel like I was going crazy when he said that there were so many things that Chris Jones had to create because nobody else did throughout the entirety of the game. And we asked him to do so much. And the fact that we have given him the freedom to go on the outside to create pressure if he picks out the right matchup to try and get after the quarterback. And he did that. And he's done that a bunch of times to end games. And it's insane that other Chiefs fans want to act like that's a bad thing. When in reality, Spag should have a better plan of having Mike Dannon loop around like the Chargers did multiple times, or having Leo Chanel out there as a spy. And so it's very frustrating in that aspect. The thing as far as the pass rush is concerned, Tozman, who didn't look good. Mike Dannon did absolutely nothing. George Karlaftis did nothing. Jerry Tillery was non-existent. I was so it was disappointing. And then Ashton Gelati actually did, looked relatively okay, which if you want to give Ashton Gelati more snaps, I'm going to be fine with at this point, because at least he's going to hustle and he has a pass rush plan. Mike Dannon doesn't. So you can at least do something as far as that aspect is concerned.
And Mike Dannon just be strong arming dudes the whole time and don't be doing nothing. I'm like, I know you got another move besides the long arm, bro. Like, that's all he does. Straight long arm every time. No swim.
And he goes nowhere.
That's what I'm saying. He just stands there. I'm like, bro.
He just stands here like this because God forbid he doesn't do this to try and get in the passing lane.
Nothing.
He darn sure can't keep anybody in contain because he's not fast enough to. So
I know that.
Anyway,
Spag is big on setting the edge, but that's all he cares about. I'm like, you got to be able to get to the quarterback, bro. Like,
Omar Norman obviously did not play in this game. We'll see if he plays against the Eagles coming up this week. I mean, as far as the pass rush is concerned, obviously you guys share my similar frustrations. Where are you at? Like, what do you think the solutions are as far as the pass rush is concerned?
Got to get there.
Look, it's one guy on this line that I'm irate with at this point. And if I have to watch a whole nother season of him getting upfield and getting too far upfield and then not finishing plays, I'm going to lose my mind this year. Like, George Karlaftis has to be better. I can't express this enough. Like, he's the one sole other guy outside of Chris Jones that can actually win a one-on-one. And when you do it, you don't finish the play. I can't tell you how many times I watched him on film get upfield and whiff on Justin Herbert or be too late or be like, bro, do you realize why TJ Watt, why Trey Hendrickson, why Myles Garrett, why these guys, why they're the top guys in the league, Michael Parsons, why they're the top guys in the league? They finish plays. You know, like I don't understand how you, and I'm not asking you to be this speed edge rusher or whatever. I wish we had something like that because I think that'd help this defense out a lot, especially in pass rush situations.
We did
have
that. He's playing in Philadelphia right now.
And you let him. No. Yeah, he's coming in on Sunday.
Fortunately, he'll be in Kansas City on Sunday. He just won't be wearing Chiefs colors.
Right. You had that guy, but but I'm not asking George Karlaftis to be that. Right? But, bro, if I have to see you get up the field, lose your contain, and still not make a play, it is wild to me how many times I watched that. Especially even this is going back to last year. You know? This is what happened to you in Buffalo. This is the reason why you lost. He said it himself on the Kingdom documentary. Sitting there watching the play. Now, granted, you made up for it in the AFC Championship game or whatever. But look, how many times do you have to learn this lesson? What's this? Year 4? Year 3? What year are we in?
For George.
4? You're a 4. You're not a kid no more, bro. You're not a kid. I'm sorry. You don't get passes no more, especially now that you've gotten paid. You know, I need more. I'm sorry. The other guys on this defense line, you know, I hope Charles Omenihu can find it at a certain point in time. I don't have much faith in Mike Dana at this point. I think it is what it is.
Gelati gonna take his spot.
Gelati will definitely, I feel like will come along at some point, especially if he gets the snap. Steve Spagnuolo
get the snap.
You know, I would expect Omar Norman Lott to be able to show some things, especially from the interior part of it. Jeffrey Tillery was always just, to me, going to be a rotational guy or whatever. I'm not asking Jeffrey Tillery to go out there and be some kind of hero or anything. Just do your job at this point. But yeah, it's got to be somebody else besides Chris Jones all the time, guys. Like 95 can only and he's aging and getting older by the day. You know, like how much more pressure can you continue to put on him before somebody else steps up? And I think we've seen that frustration in training camp when he was getting on George Karlaftis. I've had 15 sacks in my career. I've done that twice. Can you do it? Where are you at? Mr. however $1 million man per year you're making now?
18.
Right. Like, I need you to show up. I need you to be better. It makes no sense, bro. Like, you can't win your one-on-one and then just quit when you get there. Where's that same effort I got from you your rookie year?
Or the Houston game, for that matter, the playoffs.
Right. Are you content now? What are we doing? You know, if this team wants to go anywhere, bro, George Karlaftis has to be a double-digit sack guy, year in and year out. I'm sorry, and if you're not gonna give me that, there was no reason to pay you.
Pass rush
everybody said I was hating. Everybody said that I was overreacting when I said that is a lot of money to pay for a guy that is not winning one-on-ones at the level that George Karlaftis is. And to justify that money, he's got to start doing that. And guess what? Not only did he not do it to the level that, you know, justifies that money, did it significantly worse in week 1. And it ain't going to be any easier. You're not going to see Trey Pipkins on Sunday. You're going to see Jordan Mailata with Lane Johnson. You ain't winning versus them.
Them all pros.
I promise there is no chance in hell George Karlaftis wins 5 reps versus either one of those tackles. I promise. I'd be shocked if he wins 3. Those tackles will shut him down so easily. God bless it. Joe Alt certainly took care of him. And definitely Trey Pipkins being able to do it is a terrible sign. So everybody was hating when I said that is a lot of money to give to George Karlaftis. I'm sorry. Week 1 looks like I was justified. We'll see what it looks like the rest of the season because he was terrible. He was awful. Charles Omenihu co-tweeting people about PFF grades. Sorry, sir. That's not going to help you beat somebody one-on-one.
Bro,
Maybe actually try and create some pressure. You haven't looked like the same guy since 2023. Mike Dana, God bless him, he hasn't looked anywhere near the player that we ended up paying. He just isn't. And honestly, this is where I'll get on Brett Veach, and I don't know if Spags probably had a hand in this too, but deciding to earmark the money for Mike Dana that they did instead of being able to pay Tershawn Wharton, terrible miscalculation. Awful miscalculation. Because Wharton was able to win some one-on-ones from the interior as well, and that allowed Chris Jones to be a little bit more versatile. Don't have that anymore. Jerry Tillery didn't look good. So we'll see. Omar Normaladash and Gelati, you're going to put more on these rookies' plates to see if they can step up. And again, you already might have ruined Omar Normaladash the same way you might have already ruined FAU by putting too much weight on him. So that's a lot of frustration as far as the Chiefs pass rush, and it doesn't look like they're willing to make any changes to try and change that. Like I said, I thought that should have been signs of Darius Smith, who's also going to be in Kansas City on Sunday playing for the Eagles, because they just get everybody that possibly could help anybody across the National Football League. So that's frustrating. Anyway, we can go on to the secondary.
Stop
and by the way, guys,
my fault, team. Stop tweeting after losses, bro. I know we've had our episodes with Tyrann Mathieu and plenty of other players before. When you get beat and you get embarrassed, like DJ just said, don't get mad at fans for coming at you. Now, obviously, you want to do it in a respectful manner. I'm not saying you need to call anybody out their name. I'm not advising that or approving of that. But if somebody critiques your game, DMac, and you play like shit, what do you want us to do? You the one that played like shit and got beat, and then you mad at us for speaking on it. That makes no sense to me. As a player, as a coach, as a man, period, if you don't do your job and someone calls you out, respectfully, of course, don't get mad at me for calling you out. You the one that didn't do your job. George, pass rush integrity. Charles, winning one-on-ones. Mike Dana, effort. These are things we've said about this team for multiple years. This isn't the first time. So why are you acting like there's anything new? So going on social media, I'm not saying you ain't got the right to express yourself, but don't be mad at someone for critiquing your game when you're the one that played like trash. No one says you're a trash player. You had a bad performance. You want to shut them up? Go out there and play better. I'm done. Go ahead. That makes no sense to me. I've never understood that, bro. And that goes for all players. Stop going on social media after you play like trash. What do you expect people to say? Oh, don't worry, you'll get them next time. Of course they're going to call you out. You play like shit. It's okay. It happens to everyone. Go out there and be better. Fix it. Don't go out there whining on the internet. Go out there and be better, bro. You're a grown-ass man. Be a better player. You're a professional. Act like it.
Right. And the frustration comes from fans. We want to see you win, dummy. Like, you know, if you're on our team, we want to see you do good. So be better. Like, you're the professional. You know, you're the guy. You're the one that make millions. I don't. You know, I'm not out there. I can't do anything. I can't do anything but sit here and watch you. You know? But when you have a bad performance or whatever, you don't play well, what am I supposed to say? You know, I'm supposed to just say, good job, George Karlaftis. It's okay. Like, no, bro. Come on, bro. I play sports as well too. Maybe not at the level that you guys played at. If any of the players are ever watching this or whatever, I highly doubt that they are. But if you are, I play sports, and one of the biggest lessons my dad, who's my coach, taught me: if I stop talking to you, if I stop yelling at you, you should be concerned. Then that's when you should worry.
They don't care anymore.
Right. And I'm telling you, a lot of fans, they're about to get to that point where I don't care no more. Why should we come to the games? Why should we sit here and watch y'all lose? Why should we sit here and watch Patrick Mahomes be the only player that cares about the game? That actually cares about winning. Because I'm telling you, that was the only player, in my opinion, that stepped off that bus in Brazil and was ready to play. And yeah, I'm not saying he was perfect or anything like that.
He made mistakes too, for sure.
But definitely put out a better effort than any other guy. And if I have to sit, and I said this on I think it was Sunday or whatever. I said Sunday. This. Yep. If I have to sit and watch Patrick Mahomes all year say, I need to be better, I need to do this, in a presser, I'm going to lose my mind because somebody else needs to say it. Because it can't just be him, bro.
Facts. And I know your coaches.
I'm sorry, I told y'all tonight.
No, the coaches critique the players harder than we do. So that's why I don't never get as players when you get upset about a fan saying, if you think a fan is bad, what do you think your coach is saying? He's saying something 10 times worse because they're harder on you because they know how good you can be. That's why these fans are so hard on these players. Like DG said, there's something that crossed the line. Yes, I'm not naive. Are there fans that go across the line, DG, that don't play ball? Yes, that is very true.
Yes.
But don't act like everyone online is oblivious to what you're doing. We're calling out your effort, calling out the mistakes.
Right.
You have to be better as a player, bro. And if you can't accept the challenge, why are you here? We put you on the team because they think you can help us win games. If you're not willing to do that, then maybe you shouldn't be here. And we can't say that because we've been to 6 Super Bowls? So for the guys that have been in those rooms, you know what it's like. You know what the standard is. So there's no question about what we need to do. Go out there and execute.
I also feel the same way about Mahomes, apologizing the post-game pressures as I do about Chris Jones. Because to what I just talked about, man, you have asked him to carry this pass rush to a level that should not be asked over the last half decade, man. Put everything on what he's had to create for a lot of one-on-ones for other guys that haven't been able to. I talk about Steve Spagnuolo and him being a defensive genius, which he is. If he ain't have 9.5, none of this shit was gonna work, bro. I'm so serious. And it's the same reason why a lot of dumbass fans that we talk to have said years ago, hey, when Chris Jones was holding out, well, just trade him since he wants to act like a diva. Yeah, okay. Y'all ain't winning shit if it's not for 95. Nothing. So it is idiotic to then try and put it on him and act like because he created pressure, he was wrong on that play. Man, help him out. Somebody help him out throughout the entirety of the game, and maybe that won't happen. But again, he's a good leader.
Plan.
Put him in a better position. That's facts.
He's a good leader, and that's why he took it on his shoulder. So as far as the secondary is concerned, obviously there were a lot of issues, to say the least. To me, chief among them is the fact that Christian Fulton did not play more snaps. And I say that, we'll talk about kind of what can be fixed later on. But these three safeties can't exist on the same field. There's just and shout out to Ben Solek. He did a really good video immediately after, as far as all the miscommunications. I have never seen so many safeties in the wrong positions in different times. I mean, just running around with like chickens with their head cut off. Brian Cook is stepping down, not even playing a real zone. Shamari Connor has no idea that the tight end is leaking out on the backside of play action. And then on a different play, he steps into the gap and then allows the tight end to leak in behind him. The run play is on the complete other side. He's not doing anything in the gap. He's just allowing the tight end to be free on play. So these safeties can't all play. And that's not to say Jaden Hicks made his fair share of mistakes. But again, he's younger. I can at least excuse some of that. There's no reason why Cook and Connor made the mistake that they did out there. I don't know. Maybe they just ruined Shamari Connor. That could be very possible because he doesn't know what he's doing on a consistent basis. Brian Cook just looks slower. I thought that Jabril Peppers could have helped too. Obviously, he's in Pittsburgh now. I don't know. It was really tough to watch the secondary. Watson lost reps, but I still think that you can lean on him as a third corner. Fulton just needs to be out there. That's just the reality of the situation. He's got to be the second corner on this team, and he's got to allow you, alongside Watson, to put McDuffie inside and only play two safeties at a time as far as the nickel looks are concerned, because you can't get by with it as it is right now. Secondary wise, guys, how do you feel about the performance?
They ain't do no better. They ain't do no better.
I'll look. Outside of Trent McDuffie, there's nobody in the secondary that I trust. I'm sorry. And I don't, like I said, I do believe Jaden Hicks should play a lot more. I'm not saying I don't trust him or anything. I just know he's at a point. He's too young for me to put any blame on at this point. I expect him to go out there and make mistakes. That's how you learn in this league, especially at the position you're going to play in. But I also think there are points in times where even if he doesn't know, he's athletic enough and versatile enough to where he can make a play and make something look better than what it has to be. I have no disrespect towards Shamari Connor, but I don't want him on this team no more. And I've been saying that for a while now, that I don't see what they see in him. I think a lot of that got proven to me last year during the Panthers game when he was just out there getting toasted by David Washington and whoever else was on that Panthers wide receiving core and couldn't cover them. I think Spagnuolo puts him in too many positions that he can't be trusted to cover some of these guys. So if that's the case, then yeah, just leave him as where he needs to be as a safety, But even in that sense, bro, like the communication between him and Brian Cook and me and CJ was just talking about this off air or whatever. They're gonna miss Justin Reed this year. I'm sorry. And I know a lot of fans don't want to hear that. I know a lot of fans had a lot of flack and criticism of Justin Reed and his abilities in coverage. Justin Reed was able to at least be out there, be a leader, be able to communicate and get guys lined up correctly and in the right spots. And sometimes I understand people think, oh, this guy is a liability in coverage or something like that. Some guys you pay in this game because they know the game. They know it better than anybody else out there. And that's one of the little reasons why they're out there.
Nick Bolton.
Why the Chiefs? I was just Gary said it. You think this is the reason why the Chiefs paid Nick Bolton? And I understand Nick Bolton's a liability in coverage. I'm not going to argue with anybody against that. But one of the main reasons Nick Bolton makes the money that he makes is because he gets guys lined up correctly and predominantly in a run fits or whatever, he's in the right place because he's that damn smart. He may not have the coverage skills of certain other linebackers or whatever. Cool, But I will willing to pay him the $45 million that he's worth to use his mind and be another coach out there on the field and communicate and get guys lined up correctly. This secondary doesn't have that. Who's going to step up and be that person? Trey McDuffie told me it was going to be him in the franchise episodes and in the Kingdom documentary episodes. And like I say, I trust his ability to be able to go out there and cover. I think he's honestly one of probably the best cover corners in this league. But he can't do everything. So who else is going to step up? Brian Cook? You've been here, what, now 4 years? Jalen Watson. I understand you got hurt last year, bruh. I need better. Shamari Connor. I don't know what world you're on right now. I need better. It's on them. Y'all know the game. Y'all know what's coming. Y'all had a whole offseason to work on this. And you go into Brazil and you all look confused. Like you don't know where you need to be. How does that happen? Somebody explain to me like I'm 5 how we go through a whole offseason of OTAs, training camp, working on all this stuff, and then we get to Brazil and we don't know what we're doing in coverage. I've told y'all tonight. I've had enough, especially with how this thing is gonna go, and I don't think it's gonna get no better. I'm sorry, maybe I'm wrong. I'm willing to be an idiot on that. Prove me wrong.
It's definitely a gut check moment for sure. A lot of mistakes that are very shocking to see. Because like DG's point, you had all offseason to prepare for this game. A team that you see twice a year, so you know what things they like to do. They know what you like to do. Obviously, they're going to make their plays, but to have that many blown assignments, have that many blown coverages, It's very disturbing, especially since, like DG just stated, you've had all offseason to prepare for them. And you're not seeing anything really too much new that you haven't seen before, based on the fact, like I said, you played them twice a year. The play actions, the crossing routes, the communications. And the most frustrating thing, DG, is that I saw a lot of those things get passed off, to my opinion, in a good manner in the first half, in the first quarter. And then in the second half, it was just people just forgot how to play football. Guys not communicating, guys not passing things off. To DMac's point, guys being in the wrong gap they're not supposed to be, and letting guys just run past them. Any play action, they're biting on everything. It's like there's just no eye discipline, no reading keys, no based on anything footwork wise. Everybody just doing their own thing. I don't get that at all. That made no sense. It's almost like they went out there and just didn't care. Like everybody just out there just running around with their head cut off. So this is a gut check moment for sure. Because if you don't go out there and play better, Philly will embarrass you. It is what it is. You got to go out there.
And I hope they do.
You got to go out there and look yourself in the mirror. You got to be a man, admit your mistakes, and say you were wrong, and go out there and correct it. Spags, you too. From coaches down. It's not just players, coaches as well. Admit your mistakes, things you did wrong, go out there and correct them. Because a lot of the things that they did are, from a secondary standpoint, are fixable. Those are just simple communication, lineup assignment, and execution. Those are simple things. Now, D-line wise, we know that the situation we're in is you got to roll with what you have. From a secondary standpoint, those are simple concepts that you have to pick up on. It's not hard. And if you guys really don't want to be out there, then say that. Don't play. So overall, it's very frustrating because I know the potential of these guys. We know how good they can be. And I agree with DG. Jaden Hicks will be playing a lot more. The limited snaps by him is unacceptable. I don't know what the hell that was. So Spags definitely got to figure that out too as well.
Yeah, a big piece of it. I mean, it's just they need to be better in so many different ways. And it's just you gotta understand the ways in which their secondary has not been able to play together, I guess. And again, I think it really does come down to the Christian Fulton playing. These guys are inexperienced. I know people have the Justin Reed point, and DG is completely justified in bringing it up because he did bring a organization and a leadership to the back end that really did matter. I just, he's also a liability in coverage. So can you afford to have him out there right now? I don't know if you can. The same reason why I don't think you can afford to have Mike Edwards out there right now, for that matter. And the second level has its issues. And that's really what it comes down to. You can't have these secondary woes and also have the limitations that the second level does. And I know people, I guess, love Drew Tranquil and won't be honest with them. Sure, the blitzes that Spagnuolo got him scot-free on, he was able to convert those plays. I would hope he could, but he was terrible in coverage. And this is now after a year in which he was bad in coverage the year prior. Has he just lost it? That's not a great development.
First year, he was great.
That means that Jeffrey Bassett needs to be playing over him.
Right.
Deal with it. I'm not going to deal with the Drew Tranquil getting destroyed in coverage the entirety of the year because that's the only reason why he's out there. He's not athletic like Willie Gay. Doesn't bring the same mentality of Willie Gay. He's not a force player because he's not a big guy. Play Jeffrey Basso over him if he's going to be that bad in coverage. You need Nick Bolton out there because he organizes the defense and he's a green dot and he's a run stuffer that can get you to the third downs, really, that y'all got to, because the run defense, even though you got rid of Mike Pennell, who was great for the Bengals and run.
Still had a good run defense.
Y'all still had a good run defense. You got to the third downs. That's where everybody else around around Nick Bolton has to do their job. So that's the frustrating part of the secondary, and we'll talk about the solutions as far as that's concerned. It's frustrating to say the least. Anything else on defense before we want to flip to the other side of the ball?
Let's move on.
Yeah,
I'm gonna lose a head gas.
It is what it is on defense, bro.
It's disgusting. We'll circle back to the defense in a bit. As far as the offense is concerned, obviously, again, the losing of Xavier Worthy obviously threw a wrinkle. I shouldn't say wrinkle. It tore up the offensive game plan for what they were planning to do, and they have to force things to Hollywood Brown as a result. I would say Juju Smith-Schuster stepped up admirably. Obviously, we saw the deep shots, which we'll talk about in a little bit, as far as what they were able to do to attempt some things down the field to take one third and convert at least one of those. Obviously, Mahomes created that other play to Hollywood Brown as well. I'll be honest with you guys. All that talk about Travis Kelce being in great shape and stuff, I did not see it on tape. He was locked up. So either he's going to all of a sudden find the fountain of youth here, or we're in for another season in which he's a limited weapon, which again puts more strain on this wide receiver group, which obviously already He's down his top two guys. And then you add on top of it the fact that the running game basically didn't exist because they chose not to run it often. Pacheco had some rough snaps as far as the division was concerned, but it's very difficult. I mean, it's very difficult to
You only
get
get
those
5
things
carries,
going.
bro.
I mean, he's a rhythm runner. He really is. He's a guy
Needs
that you
more.
have to, if you're going to get him going, you have to allow him to run the football. You can't run it 5 times and then say that's it for the entirety of the game. You got to run. Mahomes can't be the leading rusher for this team. It can't happen. It
That
can't
was
happen.
crazy.
It cannot. It cannot. Isaiah Pacheco looked healthy. I'll say that, but he has the vision limitations. But again, you can live with those if you allow them to run the football and then maybe try an understand play action thing that destroyed your defense. Maybe you could try to do that to an opposing defense. I know that's a novel concept, Andy Reid and Matt Nagy, but maybe you guys should try that sometimes too.
Stop trying to get in the gun all the time. Get under center, please, God.
Offensive issues, DG and CJ. How you guys feel?
5 carries between Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco.
Ain't
I don't
nobody
know.
doing nothing with 5
Yeah,
carries.
like I don't know how you think you're. Oh my God, bro.
Ain't nobody getting off of 5
Andy
carries.
Reid is a genius, man. But it baffles me how you can sit here and go down Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy, and now look at this offense and go, all right, we're gonna do some of the same things.
Don't switch up.
We ain't switching up. We're gonna throw the ball 39 times. Yeah, because that's gonna work. Because we can rely on Tyquan Thornton to go out there, who was relatively on practice squad last year. Juju Smith-Schuster is another year older. Hollywood Brown didn't practice in training camp, so he has no reps with Mahomes this offseason. And we're out here throwing the ball 39 times. Telling 15, go fix it. You got it, bruh. Go fix it. I think the offensive line was fine in my opinion. I don't think they were great or anything, but I do. That does give me a little bit of hope, at least, that the offensive line can hold up. I think Josh Simmons, for being a rookie and being as young as he is, I thought he held up very well. I thought Kingsley, he had his moments at points and times where, I expect Kingsley to make some mistakes here and there, but I thought he held up his own as well, too. The only person I have an issue on that offensive line is Jawan Taylor, and that's because he just continues to kill drives for them with dumb mistakes and penalties at this point. And I don't understand how this is now your third year with us, bro. And you're still doing some of the same things. It makes no sense how you continuously go out there and still know, like, they're gonna watch you false start. They're watching you. They're looking right at you. They have made an example out of you. And you still continue to do it. Doesn't make any sense to me. Offensively, I think that it's gonna be painful to watch as far as, while Rashee Rice is out, and hopefully Xavier Worthy can return at some point or ever. I think that's the only way it'll get better and more explosive. But if that's not gonna happen, Andy, you gotta get to a point where you just gotta rely on the run. We seen it last year when Kareem Hunt stepped in here off the couch last year, and you were giving him 20-something carries a game.
Dominant.
And being able to control the clock and win ball games in that way. How much that helped the passing game and open up things for you. So, what are we showcasing here? Are we trying to show that Patrick Mahomes can throw the ball? Like, we know he can throw the ball. We know he can do. Ain't nothing new. You know, are we trying to showcase Mahomes for MVP, or are we trying to win ball games? Which one is it? Because I feel like we're playing on the left side right now.
It should be both. It should be
right.
both.
So
it's all about balance.
All right. It should be both. I'm sorry. We watched all of these games, and I know people had been like, "Oh, all these games went on the under." So you guys and you're watching the football and it looked easy, et cetera, et cetera. We watch all these games, man. Getting under center to play action opens up so many things for the quarterback in an offense. It makes life so much easier. You saw it with the Chargers. They didn't even have to run the ball well. All they had to do was fake it, and the entire second level was gone. And apparently the secondary at times. Because the secondary was gone too. It's just such an advantage to be able to use that type of play action on a consistent basis. And there's the easy buttons that just are not available for the Chiefs. And it's frustrating to see on a consistent basis, man. It's so frustrating because it puts so much on Patrick Mahomes. And he's a great player. And so he can single-handedly try and will this team to victory like he tried to do, making a lot of great throws and making spectacular plays in which he's parallel to the ground, throwing the ball to Juju Smith-Schuster for a first down. But it doesn't have to be that way. And it's frustrating, obviously, because of the wide receiver aspect of it, but that doesn't excuse the fact that you can't run the ball. It shouldn't be that way. It should be better. You have the talent to do it. You've got an all-pro center. You've got one of the best, if not the best, run-blocking guards in the National Football League. Juwan Taylor can move guys. Maybe you prefer more. We'll talk about that in a bit. Kingsley and Josh Simmons both showed they can move guys in the preseason. It's frustrating as hell that they can't get this run game going, man. And they also refuse to commit to it too. That aside, I kind of want to, before we go on to the deep ball aspect of it and we get to the positives on down. The Juwan Taylor aspect of it, like you said, DG, they're going to be watching him. And they're going to continue to watch him due to Chris Collinsworth. So it's just a reality situation. I thought the holding call on him was pretty soft. I just thought it was soft. Other tackles are getting away with the false starting stuff. It is what it is at this point. If he has another game like that, you got to pull him for Jalen Moore. You just have to. You don't have a choice. You can't go out there and deal with it. Not with how small the margins now are, especially on offense with your wide receivers down. You have to take advantage of every opportunity. You can't live with those penalties. And again, I say that I think Juwan Taylor, outside of the penalties, is a solid tackle. I truly do believe that. But you can't have those penalties. And they now have a reasonable alternate, and Juwan Taylor is going to be gone at the end of the season. So on both sides, there's no point in really just being excessive as far as that aspect is concerned. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to, before we get to the deep ball aspect of it. You fucking idiotic Raiders fan. Y'all can't do shit.
I was trying not to say nothing.
I'm going. It got me today because I'm mad about everything.
Oh, they in the chat.
Your team is so trash. Y'all have never done anything. Y'all are never going to do anything that I've seen with my own two eyes. Y'all are terrible.
I ain't never seen
your best hope is to maybe get over 500. And God bless Geno Smith is going to give you the first good quarterback play you've seen in a long time. I promise you, y'all ain't doing shit. You can laugh at all you want to. Just be upset that we've lapped you in championships and we took a 50-year break just to do it. And we own this division that you can't even touch.
And you still ain't beat us in your own stadium, fam. Call me when you do that.
Hey, going in another team's chat.
More head coaching victories in the stadium than any head coach y'all have ever employed.
Hey, who is this? DDT? Do we know him? Who is this?
I don't know.
We've never seen him before. I'm sorry, that annoyed me to the point.
Chat is funny, bro. After your team ain't never done anything. Wait until another team loses. That's the definition of loser behavior. You wait for another team to lose to go in there and all of a sudden get in the chat. Because I ain't never seen this dude in our chat.
Never showed up before.
I was like, who is this guy? And I'm like, I thought we knew him or something. So the fact that you come here and decide to talk DDT, that's hilarious, bro. But it shows me you have a loser mentality, which it goes along with your organization. It's not surprising. So
go clean my champagne showers out of your locker room.
Yeah, and go
do
get
that
the confetti,
first.
Get the confetti out the brush too.
Yeah.
You feel me? It's a little stuck in there. You know what I mean?
I'm playing Ring Around the Rosie while you do it.
Right.
That's funny. I didn't even notice that. That's hilarious.
You didn't even beat us in your own stadium.
Man, y'all in the chat today. I ain't never seen some of y'all come in here and talk. Rex, DDT, y'all outside today. Okay.
The Chiefs not beating the Raiders. If
there's one thing we gonna do, I promise you, it's gonna beat the Raiders. I promise you, it's the one thing we gonna do.
DDT, listen to me. If we beat y'all this year, you better be back in here.
Oh, he won't.
You better show up. I better see you back in the comments.
He won't. The only reason he's here today is because we lost. If we'd have won, he wouldn't even be in here.
Make that promise to me.
Oh boy, it's lonely at the top, boy. That shit funny.
Hey, how long has that stadium been open? You still ain't beat us in it?
Allegiant Stadium, boy. Yeah, that's funny.
And you go 1-0 against the. Oh, you beat them.
But we got a flag buried
underneath
y'all stadium.
We beat the Drake May Patriots. Oh my God. We look great. Fuck out of here, man.
With no Christian Gonzalez at that.
Facts. That was funny.
Yeah, okay.
No.
I'm happy for your win.
And I do want you to know DDT because I peeped this earlier today because I saw you showed up in other Chiefs content chats. When you're trolling the internet during your sad and pathetic life to try and find some Chiefs fans to talk to, I wish you the best of luck because I know your season's not going to be relevant past November. I know that shit's going to eat you up, and you're not going to have anything to troll about. You will have nothing to search into the YouTube box to try and take you away and distract you from your terrible ass life that you tried to spend on multiple nights after the Chiefs lost one game. I promise you're not going to be back in here after we beat the Raiders this year. I can't wait to clown the shit out of you when we do.
Ain't no way he just hype after one loss, bro. There's just no way. We've been dominating and running the AFC for almost a decade, and now all of a sudden you got something to say? I ain't seen you in none of our shows, bro. Not one time. And all of a sudden we lose one week one game. One. Now all of a sudden you got hella shit to say? That's hilarious, bro. When we've been to 6 Super Bowls? Like come on, bro. Like that's what you saying now? All right, bro. I know you are ops, so you're supposed to troll. I get that. But if you want to troll, like DMac said, at least do it correctly, fam. Like this is what you're doing. This is sad behavior, bro. This is not acceptable, bro. You got to be better than this, bro. If you're gonna troll, at least do it right. Like do something substantial, do something of significance before you start trolling somebody. You beat the Patriots, like DG just said. You can't go on a parade, bro, around other people's content, commenting and shit. When you beat New England, bro, who cares? Like it makes no sense, bro. Make it make sense, DDT. That's all I'm gonna say, bro. If you want to do it right, bro. You feel me, gang? At least
I can absolutely not wait to
take
an anytime interception. To take an anytime interception from Geno Smith when we play.
Geno catch me week 1. Appreciate you, gang.
Yes.
Taking that shit every week.
Tell him to catch me every week. I took him for 10.5. He got me 1. We need 9 less than 10 more.
10 more.
Give me 10 more.
Oh, that's funny.
I never seen this because you don't come in here.
Bro, you never been in this chat about one time, bro. I've never seen your name. Unless y'all seen it. I ain't never seen bro's name, bro.
Hey, can y'all remind me? How many yards did Ashton Jitty run for on
I know he scored,
week 1?
Let me see. What did he run for? I don't think he did nothing crazy. Let me see. Here. I took him on my fantasy team. I know he scored. Let me see.
Who cares? Beat us in your stadium. Do that. When you do that, call me. Call me. Talk to me.
I wanted to double check. Patrick Mahomes rushed for more yards than your fucking top 5 running back did in week 1. Trash.
Yeah, 38 yards on 19 carries against the Patriots.
19 carries for 38 yards. Mahomes did 6 for 57. You should have took Mahomes in the top 5 so he could be a running back. Let's get to the deep ball. So obviously the main portion of the comments or the commentary coming out of training camp and preseason, offseason, etc., has been around Patrick Mahomes and being able to convert on the deep ball. And I think it's interesting to be able to break down what we saw, obviously, out of it. I mean, week 1, especially given it was probably the least ideal circumstances, given the fact that obviously no Xavier Worthy, in addition to obviously no Rashee Rice, which we knew going into this. and what we saw. So there's going to be 2 shots to Tyquan Thornton, obviously the third that'll end up converting. And then we have the Hollywood Brown one, which we'll talk about fairly briefly, considered everything. I think actually I got to get to the sideline view here so that we can see the full aspect of it. Here we go. Let's get to it. Tell Max Crosby to ask about Andy Reid again, since he want to play for him so
Tell
damn
Max
bad.
Crosby to beat us. He hasn't done it, dummy.
That's the only
So
person on your
stupid.
team you can talk about is Max Crosby.
Max
You're an
Crosby
idiot.
wants to be a Chief. He wants to play for Andy Reid.
Max
Right.
Crosby don't even want to be there.
He don't even want to be
Idiot,
there.
bro.
Oh god, this is funny.
So let's talk about the deep ball. This will be the first one here. They obviously have Rashard Smith go in motion. And the Chargers are kind of basically. I mean, it's really a little bit more of a cover kind of 6 look. With the corner kind of cutting on that other side here. The main thing I want to point out is it's important here. You see, obviously, both this safety and the corner to the short side of the field are focused on Hollywood Brown, which then opens up what Tyquan Thornton here at the bottom of the screen is running. And I'm going to let it run so that we can see it from the end zone view, because I think it's important to talk about it. When Xavier Worthy caught his long touchdown versus the Chargers last year, it was a similar concept to where they were playing quarters. The crosser ended up taking the safety to his side down, and that ultimately allowed Mahomes to get the ball over the top. And Mahomes threw it straight up the numbers to Xavier Worthy. And the end zone view is really going to give the thing that's important, because people looked at this play and thought that Mahomes missed this throw. That's not what happened. Again, you're going to see Hollywood Brown here basically on the right hash, and you see that safety right above him. He's the guy immediately responsible for helping on Tyquan Thornton deep. Ultimately, he gets turned around, has his back turned to him. Mahomes sees that and lets it go right up the numbers, similar to what he did to Xavier Worthy. The problem being Thornton kind of bent it inside. He bent it inside to the safety when he shouldn't have. And I'll replay it back so you guys can see. Again, when that safety gets turned around, right at this moment when Mahomes is releasing the ball, Tyquan bends this towards the post instead of taking it right up the numbers.
Stay right there.
If Tyquan takes it up the numbers, that's essentially where the ball ends up landing. You can maybe see it. You probably can't. It's a little bit. Actually, I can zoom in for you guys. That'll make it easier for you guys. There we go. That'll make it a little bit easier for you guys to see. But if you pay attention here, I'm going to allow it to be zoomed in. Again, Hollywood Brown gets that safety turned around.
Stay right there.
Mahomes is letting the ball go when the safety is not looking towards him. If Tyquan runs up the numbers to where Mahomes is about to throw this ball, you see where the ball is going to land ultimately right there. If Tyquan runs right up the numbers, that's going to be a touchdown.
Why are you running it like it's in a post?
Like when he got bent in, like you see how far away the safety is. He's damn near on the other hash. You're running towards coverage. You got your stem. You bent inside. Now you obviously have the DB he's at your will now. He's on your hip. If you keep him at that stem and just run up the numbers, he's either going to get a PI or you're going to catch the ball, or both. You're going to score. But for you to run towards the safety right here, you're running yourself towards the coverage. You see that safety on your left, Quan. Why are you running towards him? Don't do that. Stay straight. You keep that up the numbers, you're either going to get a PI or a catch. And it's on the goal line, so you would have scored. That makes no sense why you would do that.
That's just the important thing, obviously, to get on the same page as far as the deep ball is concerned, to make sure that you're, paying attention to those finer details. That's the difference in obviously being able to convert that into a touchdown, and that sucks. But those are lessons to be learned when you guys, obviously Tyquan specifically, sees this in the future, to be able to have that detail, down, because Mahomes throws the ball exactly where it needs to be, where it really would have been in stride if he continues up the numbers, and that would have been a touchdown. So that's a frustrating miss, obviously, miscommunication really on Tyquan Thornton's part specifically. Second one here, this one just comes down to a really nice play design and a really good route on the outside by Tyquan Thornton. Runs the out and up. He gets the separation needed. Mahomes just lays it out just a yard too far. And there's really nothing more other than that as far as the play is concerned. It's just right there.
Xavier, I think so. On this play, this is one of the plays that kind of frustrated me, because I think this one is kind of on the offensive line. If you zoom,
I didn't know you were going to go to the offensive line point immediately, but I will.
You want the back?
I'm
You want the
sorry.
back line view? Or
I agree with you. Yeah, this is where we're
No,
going to get to.
I'll go back to your. I think it's a miss by Mahomes. I think you could have probably given Tyquan a little bit better ball at that point, but I also think there's a reason why it's a miss, and if you continue to play it, so you see they have that looper come around.
That's
Josh Simmons, Kingsley and Josh Simmons messed this play up. And I think it's more so because Josh Simmons did the right thing initially and trying to pass off his guy to Kingsley. But I
then
think
you got to come back.
Yes, and Kingsley doesn't recognize that Josh is trying to pass that rusher off to him. Exactly. And look where Kingsley is.
So he was the good. And so really it's Kingsley's fault. Josh really was trying to pass it
Josh
off.
Was
if he lets him go, then it's a free rusher. So either way, it's cooked.
Yes.
And again, these are the things that when you're dealing with a younger left side of the offensive line, those are the very detail-oriented things that a veteran pass rush that the Chargers do employ can take advantage of, and a veteran defensive coordinator and Jeffrey Minter can also take advantage of as well. And he certainly did. And this wasn't the only time that you saw that late looper come around to be able to create that pressure and that free runner. This is just one of the things that with time, Kingsley will better recognize, hey, if there's a guy on the line of scrimmage that all of a sudden is coming all the way around, there's some type of game happening. You got to be ready to help to whatever that side that he's going to, because somebody's probably getting passed off to you as well.
You better recognize.
And also, if I'm Kingsley, if there's anyone I would allow to have a one-on-one block, if I'm doing my sliding protection, I would think my all-pro center can handle a one-on-one block. Because what is Trey Smith doing?
Yes,
nothing. So if I'm Trey and I know in this protection, Kingsley, in my mind, I'm like, hey, if this guy comes towards me, I need to know I'm gonna leave him for King or leave him for Creed because I know he can handle the one-on-one. I need to help Josh because when you automatically, like DMac said, when I see nobody in this B gap or this C gap, that lets you know something's coming. This is an automatic alert for me. When there's nobody in front of me lined up, somebody's going to be with me by the time the ball is snapped. So if I'm Kingsley, my eyes need to be up and alert. There's going to be either this backer or this three tech is going to come towards me after the snap.
And that D tackle is shaded to the right shoulder of the center specifically as well.
Exactly.
It's just a little bit more awareness from Kingsley to be able to say, okay, I know this guy just took an inside stem. Yep. Let's go ahead. Let's get ready to pass this off. I can help a little bit, but I got to be ready because something's going on here. As far as that's concerned, again, though,
he doesn't even have his eyes there either, DMac. It's okay to have your hand here, but your
hand here and then eyes
here.
Yeah, exactly. And those are the veteran things as far as Joe Tooney is concerned. Right. And I will,
because he could have chipped him. If his eyes would have been there, he probably could have chipped him and gave Pat that half a second that DG was talking about. But you had to be able to punch them and keep your eyes to your left and help Josh.
And the other aspect of it is, again, the offensive line, in my opinion, played well, specifically Josh and Kingsley in the overall. But this was just a snap in which the Chargers were able to beat them. And ultimately, again, the up and out, he creates that one. If you do get into a situation where maybe Mahomes can wait an extra beat to get the ball out and lay it out there, then maybe it's on target and it's a touchdown. So
that's what gives me hope about this offensive line. I think that play right there, and that's a growing pain. That's something I know that Kingsley and both Josh will watch on tape and they'll see and say, hey, we gotta communicate better. But I wouldn't say I'm proud of Josh Simmons because he recognized that kid's gonna be good. He recognized that quickly and was able to diagnose, and then to know that the looper was coming, but still say if Kingsley's not gonna if I can't pass him off, I can't allow him.
Immediate threat.
I can't allow him to be a free rusher or whatever. So let me just stick to this guy and trust 15 back there to be able to take a hit or whatever and still deliver that ball on time.
Fact. So that's a great play by Josh.
That'll get. I feel like that'll get fixed, and that'll be a lot better as the season goes on.
And I said this during the preseason game because it's funny enough, DMac, if you wanted to do it side by side, I think it was the Chicago game, our final home game. They did this exact same stunt and they passed it off flawlessly. Obviously, they're not running into the exact pressure of that stunt. Better players, better aggressiveness. But the same type of concept, DG, they did this in the preseason and they passed it off flawlessly because Kingsley had his eyes, like we just said, to the outside. So those same type of things they have to learn upon. It's just about watching film, going through Tennessee. Blitz pickup is probably one of the hardest things to really rep in practice that you want to, because you can't really rep it like you want every day. Because like obviously you're doing it during long drive drills, you do it during meetings, you watch it. It's another thing to do it in live action when the live bullets are flying at you. So
I will say this Sunday, Kingsley and Josh, your communication needs to be on point, because the
Vic is
Eagles
going to
are
throw a lot of stuff
definitely going to do this. They're definitely, especially with Nolan, how good Nolan Smith is, and what the kind of looper that he can be, and the kind of twists and stunts that Vic Fangio likes to run. You're gonna have to have your communication on point, otherwise, 15 is gonna get murdered.
And then they're gonna have drop 8 situations. They're gonna have spy situations. They're gonna have late loopers, obviously with their athleticism at the second level. So they're going to have a variety of pass rush, looks, and obviously they're gonna have Jalen Carter as well. As far as going up against this Chiefs offensive line. So with that being said, obviously those are the 2 that were not converted. Let's get to the 2 that actually were converted. First of which here, Chargers are showing too high before the play. They send Kelsey in motion, kind of Mahomes getting that information that, hey, this is going to end up being a zone look ultimately. Ooh, I'm sorry. Getting a little bit of heartburn there. And just, again, a little bit of a creative way for the Chiefs to kind of get to their standard kind of flood concepts, and I'll get to it again. Kelsey's going to run kind of the underneath route. They're going to have Hollywood Brown run the sail route on the kind of coming from the other side of the field to kind of get in the intermediate areas. And then Taekwon's going to run kind of the, kind of post corner, variety of the route in which he kind of threatens the middle of the field and then bends it back outside. And gets just, again, another step of separation to be able to get the job done. Let me get CJ back on the phone.
my fault.
No, you good. Just to get just another step of separation and ends up hitting Taekwon right in stride with a gorgeous throw, a perfect throw. There's no 2 ways about
Way
it.
to adjust too, Taekwon. Keep it high. When you see the ball high, let it take you there too.
Great catch, great effort from Taekwon. I liked what I saw.
Great ball, Pat. That's an amazing ball.
Yeah, from him. I think that he can definitely be a threat in this offense. I don't know if it's something that you can rely on for a full, fledged season, but I think
the next chunk of games.
Yeah, I think you can definitely trust Taekwon in these types of situations. And I will say that this is an incredible pocket by the offensive line. Great job.
Pocket.
Yeah, I wanted
great.
I wanted to get a proper what's it called, appreciation for how good of a throw this is, kind of from the end zone copy. And I apologize, guys, I have to zoom in, but obviously the the camera angles within what's it, Centurion Stadium or Corinthians? Within Corinthians Stadium there in Brazil, we're not built for football specifically, they're built for football. Obviously the Taekwon throw just a step of separation. Mahomes put it perfectly over his shoulder, and a great catch, great tracking by Taekwon too. And look, we'll talk about it more as we get into it, but he is now a major piece of this offense for what he can provide as a deep threat, because they're going to have to ask Hollywood Brown to do more, and obviously ask more of Juju Smith-Schuster as well. So great to see from him. But I did want to go back. Let me see, because obviously the end zone copy, in my opinion, didn't do a great job at showing it. We can zoom in here. We're gonna get just to the point in which Patrick Mahomes ends up letting this ball go, so we can see. Offensive line does a really good job versus 4-man pass rush here. Hey, that's exactly what you want.
Great
pocket. That's everything you could ask for.
Yeah.
Jawan Taylor on an island, locked up. Josh Simmons on an island, locked up. Kingsley as the help player, obviously.
Trey Smith 1-on-1.
Trey Smith 1-on-1. Everybody doing their job. I completely missed that there was. I actually want to go back and see that now.
Kingsley picked up this. Good job, Kingsley.
Correction. See.
Yeah, they run Thule inside, and Kingsley gets that chip, and then passes it off perfectly to Josh, and then he's coming to help Creed with the help just to be sure.
Well done.
And that's a perfect pocket for Mahomes to deliver the football from. And hey, when you keep him clean, I don't care what anybody say, he's the best in the business. Absolutely. And he can distribute the ball accordingly. And so great ball to Taekwon throw it, man. And again, like I said, they're just going to rely on him more and more as far as what things are going to look like moving forward. And then we'll finally get to the last one here, which is what happens when things don't necessarily go as they're supposed to. This is obviously a play that people are going to make a mountain out of a molehill for me personally. Khalil Mack is lined up over Kingsley Subatia and does something that he did not do the entirety of the night, which is this little kind of outside Euro step ghost move to get around Kingsley, which was absolutely disgusting. Khalil Mack is annoying for being able to pull that out then. But ultimately, Mahomes says, I don't really care. I'm trying to win this game. Rolls out on the roll and hits Hollywood Brown open.
And great job by Hollywood to keep your eyes on Pat the whole time. Anytime you're in a scrimmage drill, you have to keep in the vision of Pat. Normally, some receivers, we all know the scrimmage drill. If you're deep, go short. If you're short, go deep. Normally, receivers like this with Hollywood would end up running back towards Patrick. Obviously, he sees Juju's already occupying that area, so there's no need for me to go that. He subtly starts to go deep and goes and frees himself, and he goes towards Patrick's vision to keep myself open. Don't stay on this side, run towards the sideline to make it an easier throw for Pat, and then he catches it near the numbers.
Look at this. Look at this cover two safety. I'm gonna let you go, but look at this cover two safety. This safety at this moment in time, because they're rotated kind of out. Maybe it's a little bit of a cover six, but we'll discuss that later. This safety sees Mahomes rolling out and says, "Oh well, there's only one place he can throw it because he's definitely not getting it over my head. It's got to go this way." And Mahomes says, "Nah, I'll throw it over your head and get to Hollywood running that double post as well." What were you gonna say, DG?
Kingsley, dog.
I can't get too mad at you, bro. That's
ain't much you can do, Phil. And look, I love you to death, but that's a Hall of Famer right there, bro.
That's Khalil Mack, bro. Like, I'm not mad about that one, bro. That's Khalil Mack.
Yeah, you just gotta chalk that. That's a really a welcome to the NFL kind of moment. Like he just did that
Euro
that
chop.
much better than you, bro.
Euro chop outside, man, just disgusting.
But hand down and go crazy.
The great part about this is that you got a Hall of Famer at quarterback.
He's like, who can negate those things?
Who can negate these kind of things and make this kind of play? This was a la Ravens Chiefs all over again. I got flashbacks.
That Baltimore game, yeah.
I would actually say, I know people obviously go to the 4th and 12, which is one of the most iconic plays in the Mahomes' career. This reminded me more so of the Browns opener in 2022.
Same thing.
2021. Sorry, in 2021, where he rolls all the way out and gets it to Tyreek Hill as well. I didn't actually check what the distance is on he throw it. So
he's about at the 33?
32. So he throws it from the 32 all the way to the opposite 20. So, just insane, dog. That's 58 yards in the air.
58 yards, yep.
Put it in the book of over my dead body plays. We've seen him do this. So, and this goes back to my point, bro.
50 yards on the dot.
I respect Josh Allen. I respect Lamar Jackson. I respect Joe Burrow. Those guys are talented. They're great. They do a lot. I don't see how you, as an opposing fan, can sit and watch this and say, "Yeah, those guys are better." Like, I mean. Maybe I'm the delusional Chiefs fan and I'm so used to seeing this or whatever. But I don't see how you can clearly just say, yeah, them dudes, they better than Mahomes. Put them all over him. Like, bro, he literally, I think if this is any other quarterback in the league, in this situation that you were in Brazil, you're getting blown out. But because you have 15 out there, this is a 6-point ball game.
With a chance to win the game.
With a chance to win the game.
And they know what would have happened if he got the ball back.
Yeah. And you definitely know on 3rd and 14, Justin Herbert had no thoughts about giving the ball
He's like,
back.
I'm getting this first.
Yes. to Patrick Mahomes. I've seen that movie before. It ain't happening this time. You know, so credit to Herbie because he definitely made the right play at the end of the game. And had a great game too.
That was some of the insane things that Patrick Mahomes did. And of my own charting, he missed maybe 3 throws throughout the entirety of the game. Hollywood Brown ruined 2 of them with the drop, and then the subsequent comeback route ends up he turns the wrong way and stumbles as he's trying to get out of his break. So there were some things in which Hollywood Brown specifically looked very rusty. And I think that he'll be better in years prior. He looked like he missed training camp in all of preseason. But that's it for the Total Truth tape of the week. I just really quickly, everybody just say one positive, and then we can get to what can be fixed, and we'll get on to the Eagles. DG, tell me one positive.
I got mine. If you don't know DG,
yeah, CJ, you go first.
I like how, even though to DMac just point, no training camp, no preseason, people worry about his injury. Shout out to Hollywood Brown for stepping up in a big moment. You lose Xavier Worthy. You knew Rashee Rice didn't play. Tyquan's new to the offense. To go out there and get, 10 catches for 100 yards. He went out there. He kept playing football, kept making plays, uncovered himself in a big moment to give us a chance to win that football game. My head tips off to Hollywood Brown for sure. We're going to need him a lot more these next 4 weeks and 5 weeks until we get Rashee and hopefully Xavier back as well. But no, shout out to Hollywood Brown for stepping up at a big moment and giving us a chance to win that football game. That takes a lot of heart for sure, and he went out there and did that.
Yeah, one positive moving forward. Kingsley and Josh, man, you guys are young. I understand there's going to be some growing pains and mistakes and things of that nature. I thought for the performance that they put on Friday night, I was extremely proud of those two kids. They did whatever they could to make sure 15 stayed protected, and I feel tremendously confident moving forward for the future. Now I'm not gonna say for next week because next week is this Sunday is gonna be a doozy for them. But I feel confident moving forward for the future that they can that left side of the line will be perfectly fine going forward from now on to the end. So keep learning, keep growing, keep moving forward. It's only you guys are only going to get better as the game goes on.
So. CJ?
No, same things. Definitely shout out to Josh and Kenny for stepping up. Like I said, going into the game, that was my biggest concern. So for them to go out there and outside of the mistakes being made versus Khalil Mack, overall, they played a great game, in my opinion, for the standard that they were expected to play for their first real start, obviously. As far as, my biggest positive definitely was because it's much flack the last, year, let's say, 15 months that Hollywood Brown has gotten since he became a Kansas City Chief. I thought a lot of the hate was unwarranted. Obviously, we know he has some flaws to his game. He's a perfect player by no means. But to go out there, if you would have told me he was going to finish the game with 100 yards, I would have called you crazy. I'm like, not with the way he's been missed camp. Like DG said, he didn't practice preseason, none of that. For to go out there and ball out in the way he did after he dropped the ball, could have hung his head, could have just quit and pulled out the game and not made any plays. He continued to fight and go out there, fight for first downs, make big catches for Pat, go out there and give us a chance to win that football game. Like DG said, we could have got blown out. So that showed me a lot of heart on offense, that even with the mistakes, amongst all the false starts and the mistakes we made and the drops, we still went out there and fought our way back into a ball game. So my hat goes off to Hollywood Brown for sure, because he's gotten a lot of hate from fans, from the media, from social, like anywhere else. People don't waste an opportunity to talk bad about Hollywood Brown. So for him to step up in that big moment, he deserves his flowers for sure, because we're going to need him a lot the next month.
TJ, I think the cameraman for sure had Chiefs money line on that Hollywood Brown.
He was like, he gonna get it.
He had to jump, bro, or something, because the camera went crazy.
He was like,
please.
Yeah, that was nice.
He was looking at the players like, oh shoot, hold up.
All right. He definitely became a Patrick Mahomes fan.
Like, go ahead, Mahomes.
The one thing, the positive I have other positives, but they kind of named him offensive line. Hollywood Brown set it up the way in which he really did. I thought Juju looked very well. Ashton Gelati looked good, so that was a positive too.
It had a good burst.
Yeah. The thing that I'll say that is positive, the kick at the end of the half was spectacular. To get that team on and off within that 10-second margin. Obviously, Noah Gray goes out of bounds backwards, so the clock keeps running, and that's just an added layer to how important it was to be as keyed in as they were there. Impressive to get everybody lined up. More impressive the fact that they get the kickoff, and then most impressive to actually hit the 59-yarder with that operation too. So awesome job by the kicking unit to go ahead and get 3 points at the end of the half there.
I think that's the fastest I've seen Hollywood Brown run.
That was the fastest I've seen him run all day. And then that's easily the fastest I've ever seen Wanye Morris move, period.
Yeah,
When he was
for
coming
sure.
on the screen. So shout out to them. The ability to get that done was very impressive. Um, my question for you guys is really simple. I don't know where CJ went. I'm sure we're getting back. My question just is, out of everything we talked about today, because I guess it's easy to say what we think can be like. Out of everything we talked about today, what is the one thing that you think is most dire and is most concerning?
The communication issues in the defensive backfield. That can be fixed, man. It's just about an awareness to do it. You know, just do it, guys. Like it's not hard, man. You know, you guys are teammates. Y'all been playing together for however many years now. Um, Somebody's got to step up and be the leader and take over that role. You know, uh, and be adamant about getting on guys to be lined up correctly. We seen at the end of the game, Drew Tranquil and Chris Jones get into it or whatever. I don't mind that at all because I rather players hold other players accountable. You know,
Mhm.
and I think that to me that's a good thing. You know, that the guys want to win that badly. You know, that they're willing to go after one of the leaders on this team. But I know Drew and Chris probably love each other, and you know, and it's one of those things that they'll obviously talk about in the locker room and get fixed or whatever. But the communications on the defensive backfield can be fixed, and I put the responsibility on Steve Spagnuolo to make sure that these guys are adamant about communicating with each other and knowing where each other are at on the field. So now it's just time to go prove it. Go do it.
No better time than the present.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the secondary is the one thing that you can fix because I really don't think that it comes down to playing Christopher Fulton, significant snaps. Like I said, I
Outside.
playing 70% of the snaps. Really, he needs to be maybe even higher than that if he can handle it as a true cornerback too. But at the very least, up there, and more so than you're going to play the three safety looks because they just can't afford the coverage liabilities that all three of those safeties can be at times right now. They can't afford that on the back end. They need to have three legit cover guys out there as far as corner is concerned. So that's the big thing for me. Oh. So with that being said, we can go to the thing coming up on Sunday, the Super Bowl 59 rematch versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's go with the positives because we could talk about the disadvantages a lot, I assume. Matchup for the Chiefs offense versus the Eagles defense that you think that they can exploit, DG and CJ.
So I'll say I still got a lot of respect for this Eagles defensive line, but that's not the same line you saw in that Super Bowl last year.
That's true.
And I think I saw some of that against that Cowboys and Eagles game. I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of terrified for the Cowboys offensive line because I didn't know how they were going to perform at all. And they, in my opinion, they held up pretty well. So I got a lot of respect for the talent that Nolan Smith is, the talent that Jalen Carter is, and obviously, the Cowboys played that game without Jalen Carter being in the game, which I think would have had a little bit more effect. But I think that you still probably would have got the same result. I think that the Cowboys were probably prepared for that as well too. I think as long as you don't allow those two guys to wreck the ball game, you know Vic Fangio very well. You know what he likes to do. You faced him before or whatever. You're gonna see a lot of twists, a lot of stunts, the A-man coverages and things of that nature. So I think that as long as you're adamant, Andy, about running the ball especially on early downs,
Establishing it, please.
Yeah, to keep yourself out of third and
10.
long, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 14s. Jawan Taylor, as long as you're not blowing drive, killing drives for this offense, I think if you go into this game telling yourself, look, if we stay ahead of the sticks or whatever, we eliminate a lot of what Vic Fangio likes to do. And that's going to be the thing that you're going to have to exploit, you know. So it's more side. I feel it's more on the side of the Chiefs executing on early downs and running the ball and being committed to that. Pop has to touch the ball more than 5 times. I'm sorry.
Thanks.
Like, just
they need to combine for at least 20 carries, whether it be 10 here, 10 here, whatever the case may be, 15 and 5, but either way. But one of those guys, preferably, in my opinion, should be Pop. He's the faster of the two. And then short yardage back should be Kareem. They have to combine for 20 carries. That's just non-negotiable. Positive matchups. DG explained the D-line one for them. I'm going to go back to the same thing on that defense. The cornerback 2 spot for Philly. I think a lot of their fans were saying it all summer. They were going to miss Darius Slay. I think we kind of saw that. They have Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson out there rotating between those spots, and obviously Cooper DeJean being their nickel guy as well. So I think we can take advantage of those spots. So maybe we can get them in a couple of situations where we can, establish the run, like DG just said, and play action off of that for the love of God. And then hopefully we can hit some of these deep shots to Tyquan Thornton. So this quarterback 2 spot would be able, and even for that matter, obviously Quinyon Mitchell's a great player. He still has some opportunities where he was getting exposed a little bit, getting a little aggressive and handsy, going against Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, who are amazing receivers. Not by all saying we have that type of talent available to us now, but it shows that Dak wasn't afraid to attack their best corner in that situation. So, but overall, I think their cornerback 2 spot is a spot we can exploit, and obviously their linebacking core is really good. When you got guys like Jahad Campbell and Zach Bond are very fast and athletic, you have to find some type of weakness up front for them. And I think it's going to be that cornerback 2 spot. So hopefully we can get them in some positions where they have to think and play between high-low coverage, maybe give them some flood concepts, which I know Andy Reid is known for. I expect a lot of that this week for sure.
Yeah. As far as this is concerned, look, Vic Fangio is going to do everything in his power to hide Adoree Jackson. You have to find a way to manipulate this coverage on the back end to create those. I'm not gonna even begin to expect us to run the ball. That's just not going to happen. You have to find a way to try and get after Adoree Jackson. It's going to be very difficult to get things over the middle of the field. Zach Bond's good in coverage, and Jahad Campbell also looked very good in coverage in the Cowboys debut too. So, in my opinion, you got to find ways to take advantage of the safeties and Adoree Jackson. Stay away from Quinyon Mitchell. Cooper DeJean, is going to be in that nickel. You have to find your ways to be able to take advantage of those matchups. And hey, best way to do those things is to get over the top. So see if you can create some of those aspects too. So, Chiefs defense versus the Eagles offense.
Boy, oh boy. About to be a time.
I'm gonna be real with y'all. I ain't got nothing.
Don't
They don't have any chance. I'm so serious, and it's really a shame because I think if I was more encouraged by the pass rush, I think that maybe there were some ways to maybe get after the Eagles' interior off the offensive line. Not necessarily, obviously, the tackles are great. Maybe you can get off the interior of the offensive line, or maybe you can just try and put an umbrella over it and rely upon the run defense to get the job done. I don't have any trust that they're going to be able to stop Saquon Barkley or Jalen Hurts as far as on the ground. Specifically, obviously, scrambles because again, Justin Herbert doesn't like to run the ball, but Jalen Hurts loves to do so. And then I don't have a lot of faith that all of a sudden the coverage is going to be fixed as far as the communication errors are concerned. I mean, it's already tough enough to defend the Eagles without the communication errors. So. Do you guys have anything on the Chiefs defense that they could try and take advantage of versus the Eagles offense?
I mean,
I wish I did, man. I really. I don't.
At the end of the day, bro,
I don't know where.
It's one guy. I know one guy doesn't make it even, but you still got 9-5. I know he's older. I know he's 31 now. He's done a lot for this team his entire career. He can always break a game plan any given day, no matter who's in front of him. We know that's possible. Now, I know what he's going to do. The other question is, what are the other guys around him going to do? So, to those guys, I would hope they would, like DG said earlier, if they do see this, use this as motivation. Whatever you're seeing on social media, if it's pissing you off, annoying, go out there and be better, bro. I don't care what you do. I don't want to see a point in this game, fellas, where I'm questioning anyone's effort on defense at all. And that goes from the secondary down to the front seven. I just want everyone to play hard. Because I know you have the talent to go out there and make plays. I'm not asking you to go out there and shut out the Eagles. I'm not asking you to go out there and keep them out the red zone all for the whole game. No, just go out there and give effort. If you give effort, you give yourself a chance to win. You know what the offense is going to do. They're going to give yourself a chance to put up points. What are you going to do on your side of the ball?
Yeah, that.
Think, go ahead. My bad, man.
No, go ahead. Go what you were going to say.
I think a lot of it comes down to you can take a lot of what that Cowboys defense did. I think early on they looked outmatched, but I think second half you saw them come out with a lot of fire and a lot of passion, and just realize like if we play with some pride and play with some effort, that we can potentially get out of here with a win. And I think you saw that. Now, granted, at the end of the day, I think the Eagles' offense was just more talented, and they found a way to get a dub or whatever. But I don't have much, man. Like I wish there was something that I could say that you could exploit or whatever. But it's gonna come down to just really just one thing, bro. Are you gonna have the pride to go out here and try to stop these guys? That's it. Like, are you going to allow this team, like I said, who put you on the hub in front of the whole entire world to do the same thing again? It's up to you. It's your choice. I can't do nothing about it. DMac can't do anything about it. CJ can't do anything about it.
Unless fans, want me to.
Yeah. Like, I mean, CJ will probably be at the game. A lot of other fans will be at the game, and I'm pretty sure they'll be loud, proud, and ready to cheer. It's up to you to feed off their energy, guys. It's your choice, your option. Are you going to do it or not?
I'm glad that you guys brought up the effort aspect of it because, look, we aren't some, new Chiefs fans that are going to the games and taking social media flicks and, just doing this for clout and stuff. Like, we just generally like football and we actually know what we're talking about when it comes to football. We can tell you what a cover 6 and a cover 4 and a cover 2 are. We understand what stats of games are. We actually can break down the game to you guys. There does come, times within a football team's just challenge to say, hey, you just got embarrassed in the last 2 games that you've played in front of national and I guess technically in both cases international audiences. What do you have? What type of pride are you going to come out with? Is it a team that whooped the crap out of you last time? Can you give effort on defense? And again, you might just get beat, and that's the reality situation. You might just get beat. You may just not have the horses. I understand that, but do you have pride? Are you going to take pride in your assignment? Are you going to take pride in your hustle to be in the right place and to try and make plays? And if you just get beat, you get beat. But you have to have that level of pride and that compete, in my opinion. And that's a challenge for, again, somebody that does think that the Eagles are probably going to beat us by double digits. You got to show me that pride and that effort. I needed to see that. If you show that, then I can still feel good about what the rest of the season looks like. If you come out here and roll over, then that's a totally different set of issues than the things that we're already discussing that are problems with this team. That being said, let's go ahead and get to the X Factor and game picks. Obviously, we're not, at least me and DG maybe, are not going to have the best game picks here. I will say this. Let's all give an X Factor for what will need to happen or the person that will need to step up if the Chiefs are going to get out of here with a win for you guys, and then give you a game pick.
X Factor me, if the guy who needs to step up is George Karlaftis. Need to see it, dog. I need to see you be disruptive. I need to see you help 95 do something on that defensive line. I've never questioned Karlaftis' effort, but now I'm questioning it. Now I'm looking at you saying, are you getting comfortable because you got paid?
Mm-hmm.
Which that doesn't equate you getting comfortable, because now I pay you to be a top edge rusher in this league. Show me. Show me. We in the show me state. Show me. Because if not, then I'm going to sit here and say you're not deserving of what you're getting paid. And trust me, the Chiefs in a few years will definitely take it to decide if they feel like you're not deserving of that contract. So that's my X factor. If George Karlaftis, you go out here and you have a disrupted game and apply some pressure to Jalen Hurts in that offense, maybe the Chiefs win.
Maybe.
DJ? Well, I guess DG, your game pick, and then we can go to CJ. Sorry.
Yeah, man. I don't got us winning this. I've been before the season started. I had us winning this game, but after what I seen on film the other day, and if that same team shows up, I don't see how the Chiefs win this game. And I'm sorry, that's just me being honest. I'm not trying to be downer or anything like that. I'll say Eagles 26, Chiefs 17.
CJ?
X Factor. I'm going to go with Juju Smith-Schuster. We know he's going to have to make a lot of plays for us this week. And he's going to get a lot more targets than usual, a lot more than we would have to like to see early on in the season. I think he's going to have a big role for us on third down, especially making big plays, sitting in zones. I don't know how much the Eagles really trust their man defense at this point in time based on what they've seen. Maybe they play more this week with us, but I think him and Hollywood are going to have a big step up this week. But I think Juju makes some plays for us. I think he also gets in the end zone as well this week. My game pick, it's going to be ugly as hell. I think it could get ugly for us, I ain't going to lie. But I guess I'll try to be the positive one. I think we pull it out somehow. I'll go Chiefs. Chiefs 23, Eagles 20. Game-winning field goal. Don't know how we're going to do it. Defense doesn't have their back against the wall. You heard all the criticism from us, the coaches. More importantly, I'm sure your family members, the radio, social media. You have to be better this week. If you don't have some pride and show some effort this week, when are you ever going to do it? At home, a team that embarrassed you on national television in front of the Super Bowl for the world, international for the world to see. And then you got embarrassed again in front of national television, internationally in front of the world to see a week ago. If you don't show up this week, I don't know when you're ever going to do it. So if this is a moment where Chris rallied the troops and they figure out a way to get off the field, because, I mean, for what it's worth, you held Saquon to a solid production for what you saw him in the Super Bowl wise. Now, secondary, what are you going to do for your job to hold up your end? Are you going to do it, or we go out there and get embarrassed again? Definitely don't want to see you do that at home for the home opener. So find a way to get it done. 23-20 Chiefs.
If things are going to go well, I actually will choose Tyquan Thornton as my X factor. I think you're going to have to hit one of those long balls, probably multiple of them, to be honest with you, in my opinion. Based on how things are going to end up looking versus this Eagles defense, and again, I think you're going to give up points. Game picks, I think I'll go Eagles 34, Chiefs 23. I think that's where I'm going to land as far as what things will look like for this team. So that's, again, I said it immediately afterwards. I think that this team is probably going to get beat by double digits. One thing of note, obviously, Jalen Royals did miss the Chargers game. We'll see. As far as practice is concerned, we'll have our first practice report here coming up on Wednesday, tomorrow. And then obviously Omar Normal, we'll see as far as he is concerned. He did make the trip, unlike Jalen Royals, but he was inactive. So we'll see as far as that aspect too. Hopefully you can get both of those guys back healthy, kind of at spots that you need them as far as the defensive line and wide receiver is concerned. So with that being said, we do have to wrap up with the Tell the Truth trifecta here. I will say the pick for me, I think that I'm going to steal CJ's X Factor, actually. I think they need to use him more. He looked solid. I thought Juju had himself a nice game. Underdog has Juju at 29.5 receiving yards as line. I'll take over on him going over that 29.5 receiving yard mark. CJ or DG, what's your trifecta play for this week?
I ain't even looked. what would be Tyquan
People have
Thornton's?
taken we have taken opponents for the record.
Yeah.
Technically,
Take Devontae Smith's longest reception.
yeah, he gonna get whatever that is.
Yeah.
Cash.
Whatever that is,
It's 20
that's
and a half,
cash.
21 and a half, whatever. He gonna get a bomb for sure. Whatever that is.
Let me see what's Devontae Smith's longest reception on Underdog is 21 and a half.
Oh, yeah, he cashing that.
Yeah.
He's definitely hitting that. And just for record, we played Devontae Smith 4 times. He hit it every time.
CJ, do you want to take your pick?
Lord Jesus, what do I want to take? Let me see here.
Saquon Barkley's longest rush.
Yeah, that too. Let me see. I'll try to be positive, I guess. I'll what's his line at? Yeah, here it is. All right, I'm gonna go Patrick Mahomes over 232 passing yards. If we're gonna lose, we're probably gonna be down most of the game. If we're gonna win, it's gonna be in the back of 15, obviously. So I think he'll probably end up finishing with like 240, 250, something around there. So give me his line. I got it. It's at 232 right now. What I'm seeing, it may move, but give me the over on his passing yards. I think Pat gonna try to win the game like he usually does. So win or lose.
Yeah. No, I don't blame you one bit as far as this is concerned. So Underdog Fantasy NFL season has kicked off. Obviously, they've got new deals every single week. Actually, I should take that off. It's not true. Let me get there. You go. You get $100 deposit match for using code True3 here. Also, make sure that you guys go over there and get signed up. Also, you can use code KingdomCast when you guys sign up and make that deposit for your plays as well. And then Wings and Things game day box. Let me go ahead and pull it up real quick so that you guys can see what it is. Make sure you guys go over there.
Best thing that happened to you on game day on Sunday.
Enjoy that food.
Enjoy the food.
You're not kidding, man. Oh man. That was so ugly, man. I cannot believe that we watched that in this opening game. Anyway, yes. I'm sorry. Home opener. Obviously, coming home, everybody's in Kansas City. Make sure you guys go ahead and check out them Wings and Things special kickoff edition Kingdom Cast. $28.99 Friday game day box, 10 wings and wangs, 10 tenders, large fry as well. So make sure you guys tell them Kingdom Cast sent you. But without further ado, I think that's going to be it for us, man. Again, we're going to be on the lookout, see if Royals and Omar Normalat are participating in practice this week. And I know, obviously, we all kind of predicted that it'd be an 0-2 start here. But that doesn't end the Chiefs season. We've seen 1-5 turn into 11-win playoff team. We've seen 3-4 turn into an AFC Championship game team. So I fully believe that this team can turn it around. And we had a lot of stuff to air out as well. So we'll be back next week with the power rankings. Obviously, we'll be putting out the Tell Truth trifecta graphic later on in the week before game day. DG, CJ, anything before we get out of here?
Man, I love this team to death, man. I think the world of them. They've obviously given us a lot to root for. I don't care if you win or lose on Sunday. Just play with some pride, please, bro.
Show the effort, please.
Please play with some effort and pride, and just don't get embarrassed. I can handle y'all losing. Like I said, if Jake Elliott walks it off at the end or whatever, cool. Play with some pride on Sunday, please. Please.
I agree.
Play with some pride.
I know 15 is going to come out there. I know Andy Reid is going to give it his all. I know he's going to put in a hell of a game plan for the boys. But if I had to get like a solo shot of talking, it would definitely be to the defense. Like, bro, like DG said, play with some effort and some heart, man. Like, you got embarrassed. The world saw it. Now you have literally the world's picking against you. Like, I don't think there's a soul on this earth that thinks we're going to win this game. Even your own fans, like us on the show, are picking against you. So, players, if you hear this, family members, if you see this, I hope all the players hear this. Prove us wrong, bro. Well, I picked you to win because maybe I'm the delusional one. Maybe I'm just blind faith because I've been here my whole life. So, go out there and prove everybody wrong, bro. Win the game. I don't care about stats. I don't care about trends about how good Mahomes is against the spread and being an underdog. I don't care. Just go out there and show some effort, bro. Because I know y'all can beat this team. It's not like if we won this game, would I be like crazily shocked? I'm like, no, because this is the way you should be playing all the time. But if you out there and got embarrassed, I wouldn't be shocked by that either, based off what the film you put on last week. But go out there and just like DG said, just show some effort, bro. Don't get embarrassed. The fact that he's even saying that is very sad, because we should never hear those words ever come out of anyone's mouth as a Chiefs fan about questioning effort based on what this organization has been through for the last decade. That's one thing we should never question, is your effort and your heart. Go out there, play like a champion, be a champion, and you see a team that's holding your trophy that's coming into your building. What are you going to do about it? You're going to sit there and lay down, or are you going to show some fight? So that's the biggest thing I would say to the team, for sure.
Absolutely. Just don't go out there and roll over. Just go out there and show some pride. And then a message to pretty much everybody. Offensive line did show up. Juju, Hollywood Brown, they were able to do some things as well. Just go out there and help out 22, help out 95, help out 15, man. That's really, just please help those guys out, because they have continued to try and carry what this team looks like, man. I thought DJ was about to say something.
Nah, I'm done. I ain't got nothing else to say. See y'all Sunday.
Let's see what they do.
Go out there and play with some pride. We'll be back next week on Tuesday. Kingdom Cast, obviously, on Thursday. Border Roar recap coming on Wednesday with Red Shirt Pod.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
Big old MIZ, baby. Y'all know how we took care of business. But yeah, be back next week. Hope you guys have a great day. Peace out. Go Chiefs.
Chiefs.